The word authenticity has been thrown around social media in recent years. But is it actually possible to be authentic on social media? Recently, I've been talking to a couple of clients, and because what I'm focusing on right now is brand story and founder led content, so it's all about exploring their journey of running their businesses and their struggles and challenges and who they are and their passions. So, because of all of that, the topic of authenticity and being vulnerable and authentic online has become a reoccurring theme, which led me to think about this topic quite a lot recently, and that's the reason why I want to talk about this today. And honestly, I'm still processing it, and I'm still challenging that thought every day. But I think just from what I've observed and what I've processed, the difference between being actually authentic and faking it is quite a fine line. It can be quite a fine line. And that's because when you're posting on social media, it never can be as raw as it is in person, in a sense. For example, if you're talking one-on-one with a friend and you're talking about the challenges you've been going through or your story, and you're just being really real with them and being really vulnerable and sharing all that information with them. In that moment, you are being very authentic because you're just sharing your story in that sense. But when you put it in the context of social media, there is an element of editing that has to be done. So just by the nature of social media, right? Like there has to be some sort of captions added on, and sometimes, most of the times, the videos will be edited to cut out the in-betweens, because internet and Instagram right now is all brain rot content, to be honest. It's 60 seconds, you have to convey a message. So there's a lot of editing that has to go into it. And because of that, even if you're being as authentic as you are, as you could be, it just won't, I just don't think it would ever be as real, just for the lack of a better word, as in person. But that's kind of not the point anyways. I think as long as you're not editing things or editing the way you say things in order to portray yourself as someone that you're not, and just faking a personality and persona or character, then to me you are being authentic. You're sharing your story, even though it might be a bit more refined and edited than it is actually in real life. But that doesn't really matter at the end of the day, as long as you're presenting your true self. And I think that leads to my kind of second point, which is the fact that I think sometimes people think that you kind of have to overshare, or you have to just reveal your deepest, darkest secret in order to be authentic. But really, there's a difference between oversharing and being authentic, because you don't have to review all your traumas and all your difficulties and all your struggles if you don't want to. It's not a requirement. It's just whatever you're comfortable with sharing. And most of the time people share their story and who they are because of a few reasons, because they want to connect with an audience that understands them, because they want to, and therefore that will help them grow their brand or grow their business, and people will naturally support people that they connect with and they like. And yeah, just the fact that I think we all crave human connection and just the feeling of something being real, especially at this stage and age because of the whole AI revolution and all these technological advancement that sometimes can make us feel very detached from each other. And so, yeah, I just don't think that you necessarily have to share every single thing about you to be authentic. You just have to present who you really are as much as you want to show. And that's not unlike being in a physical interaction with someone face to face as well, because I mean you don't just review your deepest, darkest secret to the stranger that you've just talked to 5 minutes into the conversation, right? It always takes time to peel back the layers and reveal more and more as you are more comfortable. And there's always some things that we keep to ourselves and we won't ever tell any other soul in this world. And that's okay. You don't have to share it if you don't want to. I think it just comes back to just being who you actually are and not trying to present yourself as this other character or this other person that you're just not. And you're doing that just because you think that's gonna make more people like you, or that's gonna just, yeah, attract more attention or whatever. Like that is what I would categorize as faking it. Whereas, yeah, if you're just talking as you are, you're just sharing your story, and that's authentic. Like, what's wrong with that? And yeah, I think the last thing is that being authentic is really, really uncomfortable. Like it's not an easy thing at all, in person or on social media, because at the end of the day, we all kind of have some sort of protective mechanism, or at least personally, when you're socializing with someone, you tend to put up a bit of not a facade, but just, you will edit yourself a little bit. You know, you won't be as crazy as you are hanging out with a close friend or anything like that. That's normal. That's just social norms. And that's a little bit like being authentic on social media. You won't be as raw, as crazy sometimes as you might be with someone. But we have so many different versions of ourselves when we are hanging out with different people, and depending on our relationship with them and how senior they are and all that kind of stuff. So none of that version of you is fake. It's just how you best interact with that environment, I think. So yeah, in that case, being authentic is always going to be uncomfortable, because it just means that you're kind of peeling back those different ways you're interacting with different people, and you're just kind of revealing that deeper layer of you that is a bit more vulnerable, that has flaws and not as perfect as you would like. But that's kind of the point though. Like that's why the word authenticity has been thrown around, because yeah, with the whole AI stuff and just technology in general, everything is trending towards perfection and ultra realism and all that kind of stuff. And we see people on the internet that is millionaires and billionaires at the age of 21, and everyone seems to have the perfect life. And we're all sick of that. We're all sick of it. And it's just so draining and tiring to keep constantly being fed those kind of content. So that's why the word authenticity has become a big thing, because ultimately we all crave the feeling that we're not not alone in feeling like we aren't perfect and we have flaws and we aren't achieving the things that we want to achieve at a certain age and not hitting those milestones. But yeah, that's why and how you connect with the people that actually will relate with you and therefore will support you because they kind of can see themselves in you, or they're just touched by your story and they see your resilience and they want to support you in any way they can. And that is a very valuable thing for a brand, for anyone in real life, a business. It's just good to, it's really valuable to get support from people. And that's kind of feel for you doing the things you really want to do. And so I guess just coming back to the topic of, is being authentic actually possible on social media? I think the answer is yes, it is, because being authentic just means that you are presenting your real self, who you actually are, despite of all your flaws and all your imperfections, as much as you want to show. And it is being vulnerable, but not necessarily oversharing if you don't want to. And I think it's important at the end of the day because it helps you connect with the right people and the right audience and just build a community that is all going through a similar thing or similar struggle. And that's how we can make the internet a better place, honestly, and a more inspiring place than something that is just portraying this ultra perfect life or ultra perfect personality. So that's my thoughts on authenticity. This is day 5 of me yapping to the camera.